Is Ikkyo a challenge for either you or your students? One thing I've noticed is that people often either collapse their lower hand when executing the technique. For example, this hand, if I were doing Ikkyo, they either collapse this hand or sometimes they try to compensate for that problem. And what happens is they just reach out very stiffly, very abruptly. And of course, that kind of stalls uke in their tracks and gets resistance. So if you remember, in last week's video, we were using a shoto, a short sword, almost like a horsewhip, where we simply called uke's attention to the space under the arm, thereby incentivizing them to move forward. We also even called attention to their base. We were doing it in Swadiwaza, so calling attention to their legs, their ankles, their knees. In addition to calling uke's attention to the space, it also served to call nage's attention to the space, which is actually more important for our overall progress. Bear with me, I'm not sure if this is clear yet. In today's video then, we continue with this theme, but now without the shoto. And instead of doing the technique from Swadiwaza, we're now standing up. So we return to a more conventional or orthodox version of Ikkyo, like the ones that we're expected to do in our tests when we get promoted. But now we're left with this increased focus on the space under the arm. So instead of just reaching out abruptly like this, we do more of an upward swing. And this elicits a very different reaction from uke. So instead of meeting our partner's arm in a very stiff and reactive way, we're reaching out in an upward motion, which is much more likely to elicit our partner's cooperation subconsciously, rather than tripping the alarms, so to speak. You know, a jolt is usually met with resistance. So I hope today's video will give you some insight, inspiration, and motivation to help you make the most of your training and take your Aikido to the next level. Let's check it out. Also, be sure to stick around to the end of the video for a special announcement. Here we go. Then same thing standing. Here's where it gets harder to look at the spaces, in my opinion. We always want to work against his arm. Yep, good. Already. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Ooh. Good, 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 good. Chris Ziliotto? Sorry. Ooh, toe. Ooh. And you can test yourself. You might have noticed what I'm doing. I'm seeing if my hands can remain here even after he's fallen. That shows me that probably there's not as much chance that I was pushing, right? Because the popular one is this, right? And if you're the strongest person in the dojo, it's really a shame because you can make that work oftentimes, right? This one's not as popular because it takes longer to master this one. Oh, so anyway, a consciousness, an awareness of the space, and then a utilization of that space, if that makes sense. Oh. Not to be confused with atemi. Eh? Thank you, Chris Coates. Chris Coates. Too many Chris's. Ooh. Eh? Ooh, ooh, osh, 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 osh.
Yo, yes. Good. The Morgan's, huh? Cool, good. Yes. Yo, now chase him. And then you elicit a different kind of attack, by the way, too, don't you? His showman is defensive, more or less. Whoa. Uh-huh. Chris Ziliotto again. Ooh. Yo. Hi, dozo.
Hey, sorry to interrupt the video. It's come to my attention that some of you haven't yet purchased my book, but you would like to get one. My book is called The Teacher. The book includes topics such as from horse riding to Budo. So that's before I moved to Japan to study intensively. I was riding horses competitively, like a maniac, really. The Japan experience, so my time in Japan, nearly 10 years. Back home, building intuition, attracting new students to Aikido, nonviolence in Aikido, leading by example, women in Aikido and femininity, arrogance, no to homogenization in Aikido, Aikido and distance teaching or remote learning, body alignment, and more. The book has a lot of different photos. This is it right here, by the way. Lots of photos that I didn't even know were on the internet. But the publisher tracked them down. Even some photos of my first teacher and also my current teacher of 30 years, Takeda Shihan. And let's see, here we go. There's Takeda Shihan again. And some friends from Japan. Bill Gleason Sensei, my first teacher. There he was. So anyway, you can get this. Of course, you can get it on Amazon. But if you'd like to support me directly, and I'll sign it too, then you can just go to leah-suzuki.com/book. Again, leah-suzuki.com/book. And I'll send one off to you. Actually, the book is also available in Italian, if you speak Italian. You can get that on Amazon. I don't have any Italian copies. I hope you get the book, and let's get back to the video.
Let's take another look at it. So, at least in our dojo, I think most dojos, the first attack is the right hand. So already, even before I call the name of the person that I'm calling up, I'm getting my left hand ready. Because we always like to collapse the lower hand in Ikkyo. And then when we remind ourselves to extend it, it tightens up oftentimes. So anyway, you know that the first one most likely will be their right hand. So my right hand be up here. But get this left hand ready. Not to punch or grab their tricep or anything like that, but just to explore the space. And not this direction, but just like we were doing in Swadiwaza. Let it come right up here. Think about if it were long enough to touch the tatami. And then drag the fingertips across the tatami. Okay? Chris-san. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh. Here. That's all. Well-oiled pendulum. Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then to the tricep. Not this. Right? And not, let's see, what was the other one that I was seeing sometimes? Now I forgot. But anyway, all the way up. Okay? So that kind of gives him a moment to collect himself, and it also reminds me that that I don't want to fight his arm. Jamie-san. Ooh. Ooh. Take it as recently doing all kinds of things with all his limbs, right? Whoop. Just moving the space, but it's a bit esoteric. Move the space, move the space, move the space. Nice. And if you find yourself after that getting into something that looks like more classical Ikkyo, that's fine. Right? Hi, give it a try. Then let's go more and more. Keeping this feeling and more towards looking classical. And we've got some different dojos here. So, but still, I'm pretty sure that the dojos we have represented here, probably your teacher doesn't want you to do that, I'm guessing, right? So some stylistic differences, but not that. So let's continue what we were doing. And white belts, actually, maybe you're still trying to figure out what the heck is classical, right? But especially black belts, they know what I'm talking about. So keep this going. When you go up, when you go to his tricep here, right? Don't just go for Look at that, how my body changed and then he reacted. Consciously release. Get this ready to in your imagination to drag across the mat. Just like bowling, sending a bowling ball down the alley. To his tricep, but the path that it takes is less confrontational. Already. Let it drop on its own. Ooh. Okay, so now I can go to the same target that we do for our tests, but it takes this path, which we often shorten to our own disadvantage. Jamie-san. Oh, nice. Yes. Good, Morgan. Oh, yes. Good. Go up with him. And this gets back to what we were talking about someday in this camp, I don't remember. I have a choice. I can release Morgan, kind of look around and get distracted for a moment, and then try to do this, find my way through it, or I can practice zanshin. A new term I've heard recently is sustained mindfulness. I like that one the best so far. So keep this connection here. We're having a conversation. I just said my sentence. Now I want to listen to him. Good? Yes. Oops, sorry. No worries. Hi. Jamie-san again. Oh. Yeah. Good. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Hi, dozo.
I hope you found that helpful and interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if Ikkyo is challenging for you or for your students. I'd love to hear what kinds of movements or exercises you've done to help yourself with Ikkyo or help your students. Also, please let me know in the comments what seminars you're planning to attend this year. I'll be teaching in the Netherlands, Germany, California, Colorado between September and November this year. So I hope to see you at one of those. As I mentioned at the start of this video, the footage for this video came from our annual summer camp in Los Angeles last year. This year's camp is coming up very soon if you're watching this video just when it was published. It's July 30th through August 3rd, and registration for the camp closes this coming Saturday. So if you're thinking of joining us and you haven't registered yet, now's the time. Go to actually you can check all the seminars, including the Los Angeles one, at leah-suzuki.com/seminars. Again, leah-suzuki.com/seminars. Now, finally, the special announcement that I mentioned. I'll be publishing a new book in the coming months. It's called Mastering the Shoto. And it will have some photos. It'll be more of a how-to book. My other book called The Teacher is more like about me, but this one will be more of a technical manual and how I do what I do with Shoto, or short sword, wakizashi. So if you'd like to be on the wait list for that and be the first in line when it drops, just go to leah-suzuki.com/shoto-book. Again, leah-suzuki.com/shoto-book to get on the wait list and be one of the first to get the new book when it does come out. Thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.